Hey YouTube, Sirith below. I just wanted to share a few things with you tonight. Hope you can hear the bugs. Hope they're as loud for you as they are for me. Something that I wanted to talk about for a couple months now. Our family, we have a new home, a new vision, and I'm going to talk about something that I'm going to kind of call the new revolution. I've talked about this with some friends and coworkers and been thinking about it, and I'm going to bring it up more and more in future videos. So tonight I just want to give you a short introduction. I picked up a book at Barnes & Noble. It was on the bargain rack, and it's called, I hope you can read this, The Constitution Made Easy. It even says up here, Tea Partier's Guide, by Michael Haller. You can find it on Amazon for about 10 bucks. I found it at Barnes & Noble, I think, for 6. One of the things that's been on my mind lately is understanding the American Constitution, and reading it, knowing it, and understanding it. If you don't read it, if you've read it and you don't understand it, how can you really know what exactly you were given in this country and what's been entrusted to you? Now, the Constitution itself is not the easiest thing in the world to understand. I've tried it. So I picked this book up on a whim when I saw it, and it is exactly what it says, the Constitution Made Easy. Makes no bones about it, it's a Tea Partier's Guide. So you could say it comes from a direct point of view, but that point of view is understanding the Constitution for what it really says, not what any one particular party wants it to say. And to put it simply, the states, originally the 13, they wanted to make a centralized government for the sake of serving the states, to do the things that the states really could not feasibly do in and of themselves, in particular like interstate commerce and national defense and things like that. But we've kind of come to a point to where the states almost live and exist to serve the central government. Reading this, I don't believe, as many do, that we've completely reached that point of complete tyranny. We certainly haven't, but we're headed that direction. The central government has become the main law of the land, enacting more laws and regulations and rules every single year, every single administration. It's just constricting life, it's constricting liberty in this country. I recommend, if you find it, to pick this up or something like it so that you can understand the Constitution for yourself and what it says, and not just what it says, but what the founders meant by it. Looking into their other letters, the other things that they've said and wrote and taught. It'll give you an understanding of what the Constitution is and what your place is in this country. So, the new revolution, I think it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary for a revolution in this country. However, I'm not talking about a violent revolution. I'm talking about a revolution being that we, the American people, live our lives in such a way that we simply do not need the central government in our daily lives. And that comes into play in more areas than you might understand. I've been paying attention to political things really only for 2, maybe 3 years now. And I feel like I'm just starting to kind of get a grasp on it. And I've fallen into the trap of certain misinformation and, and lies. And you listen to one side of the media and you believe that side, and you listen to another side and you think, well, these guys are right, And I've read Al Franken's book, The Lying Lies, and whatever that is, and I've listened to talk radio, and you can easily get swayed one way or another because they make very persuasive arguments, and each side has the exact statistics it needs to prove its point. So over the course of these years, I've really gone back and forth, and the one thing I've really come to understand is I can't stand when people formulate beliefs simply based on what they hear from other people and their persuasive arguments. You've got to be able to think for yourself. You've got to understand the Constitution. You've got to understand who you are and what you believe independently of anybody else. And you've got to understand how you can live in such a way that the government does not need to be involved in your daily life. You understand those things, you can make yourself, your family, a very strong, responsible, and self-reliant family in this country. The more and more families who can do that, whether it's you single by yourself or you get married with children, doesn't matter. The more people who can do that and live that way, that's the only way that I can possibly see loosening the power and the constriction of the central government. I am not talking about particular parties. They both have done this. And I learned this particularly over the weekend. I saw a thing on Facebook about a picture of Joseph Biden and talking about the original author of the Patriot Act, and got into the comments, and there's some heated comments in there about how it was just a big lie and everything. And you do some more digging, you find out that Joseph Biden was the original author of something called the Omnibus Counterterrorism Act in the mid-90s, signed into law by Bill Clinton. And then came along the Patriot Act that was signed in by Bush. And Biden even stated during those debates that it was originally his bill. And then Obama signed an extension for provisions from the Patriot Act. So basically what you end up with is original bill came up from Joseph Biden under Clinton. However, Bush certainly approved the Patriot Act. So you see, both different parties have been doing this, not just with that counterterrorism type of bill, but with everything. That's why the power has to not come from the government. We cannot simply elect people and expect them to do these things for us by passing more laws to give you more freedom. It does not work that way. You have got to live free, and you have got to live in such a way that you don't need them to pass laws and make regulations for you. So I'm going to talk about this more and more in future videos, talking about, like I mentioned, divorce in a couple videos ago, talk about debt, divorce, all the vices that bind us and constrict us and keep us from being free, our work, our jobs, our place in the community, religion, all these kinds of things. So I hope you stay with me, and I hope you learn and understand your own Constitution and talk about it with your family, pray about it, whatever you need to do, and I'll be back with more. Thank you.